Hiya folks, well, back in the log cabin again. I'm afraid it's another tinkering video. I haven't been out here for, well, over a week now, a week and a half, something like that. And I've had a chest infection. Basically getting over that now, and I've got to start making some headway in here. Get this workshop a bit tidier, and as you know, I've started stripping down the paint, the powder coating oven. That's as far as I got the last time. I got the side panels off there, and also the loosen the back panel, but I have to take them light fittings out there. So I was in two minds whether or not just to try and sand that one in place, but then I've still got to take the top one off there, which has got big bolts going through it, and also the bottom one under the heating element. So these panels, as you can see, are taken out now. I wanted to put these in my sandblaster, but they're actually too long to go in there, so I'm gonna have to get the wire wheel on them, I suppose, or something like that, sanding disc. And one of my subscribers, who's actually built a powder coating oven, bought a 2-litre container of heat-proof aluminium paint, which I think he used on this one, and he had just over a litre left over, and he kindly reached out to me and said I could have it. So I'm going to just try and rub these down, and hopefully I might paint it on. I'm not sure yet. I'll judge it when I actually see the paint itself, whether I can put it in a spray gun and spray them. How much rust I can get off of these panels, I'm not too sure. But we'll go with it anyway. I haven't got that here yet, but that will come later. Let's try and get one of these panels stripped down, get it sanded back, and let's see what they look like. Well, that's doing the job, folks. Takes a bit of time, but we're getting there. I had to get the vacuum cleaner on just to suck the dust away. I did put the extractor on, but just keep that dust down. And they're not the greatest of masks, them little paper ones what you put over your face, as we all know. But yeah, we're getting there. And one of the things it's taken off as well is the actual aluminium sticky residue stuff, which I put around the edge. So as you can see, it is taking it down. It is pitted, but I'm not too worried about that. And as you can see, it takes that aluminium off, although there is a sticky residue on there, so I'll have to give that a bit of a wax and grease remover afterwards, put some of that on there. So anyway, I've got a bit of work to do here, as you can probably see. I've got to do all these panels there. I may just choose to do that one in situ, I'm not too sure yet. We'll play that one by ear again. I've got a little one at the bottom there, which the elements are fixed to, so I've got to sort that out as well. The roof, as I said to you, and also the bottom one as well. So I'm just going to crack on with this, and hopefully I can get a lot of it done today. Failing that, it'll be another video. I'll just show you around the workshop anyway, just show you what's going on. Not that I've done anything. So we've got a few new subscribers who have gone through all my trotter build videos. I think there's 40 videos at the moment up to that, and they've got to the end and they're wondering whether or not I'm still doing a trotter van, or did I ever finish it. Well, this is the cylinder head to the engine. I've still had that, I did have that skimmed. I won't turn it over, that's been skimmed, and I was going to start the reassembly of that, but I haven't got around to that yet. So coming through to the rear workshop, I've had a little bit of a move about, not much, at least I can walk in here now, folks. So over here, there's a brand new fuel tank to go in it there. I bought that off a chap called Neil Huckle, who does a lot of Reliant spares. He had a batch of them, brand new old stock fuel tank, which has got to go in. But I sold my old tank to someone else. The old tank was okay, it was working and all that, and it didn't have any leaks in it. But because I've got the new one, I thought, well, that's fine, I'll keep the new one. And I sold the second-hand one I had, the one I had fitted to the van. Unbeknown to me, I left the fuel sender in it. So if anyone out there has got a fuel sender for a Reliant Regal, or one that fits into a Reliant Regal tank, then please get in contact with me and I'll willingly buy it off you. So that's that. There's all the electrical components to the Reliant Regal. There's a whole new set of rubbers there. In there, there's the door seals and all that sort of stuff to go around it. We got some new parts for the RSX 100 motorcycle there. There's a brand new seat there. That's not quite the right one, but I've also got a brand new seat cover to fit that seat there. So that's got to have to go on as well. These are all the parts I stripped off for the RXS 100. And there's the engine there, as you well know. Again, air boxes, panels. I had to buy new panels. Well, not new ones, second-hand panels there. They're all there ready to be sorted out. The mobilette, as you well know, is there all waiting to be rebuilt and sandblasted and painted, which I've got the paint for that now, the correct colour. So all this sort of stuff, I've got to sort of get these racks out of the way, just to give me my floor space back, basically. So that's got to be sorted out. And that's the engine under here for the Reliant Regal. I do have two engines, actually. The one that come with it, which you can probably just see the gear lever from down there, it's sitting under them seats there. That's a 600 engine. That's the original one that come out of it. Oh, the chap gave me this one, so he come with it. This was a 750cc engine, which I did start to rebuild, but it's been uncovered in the workshop. I know there's covers on it now, but as you can see, I started to rebuild it, but it's all covered in blinking dust again. So all that I'm going to have to strip down again and rebuild again. Brand new piston rings gone in there as well. But as I say, that's a work in progress. I'll have to get back on this pretty shortly. Yeah, so that's the 750 engine that's going in my Reliant Regal. Just have a little look around my lawnmower stash. I've got a Hater Spirit 41 there, which I can't remember if there's anything wrong with it. It was a non-runner when I bought it. There's also a self-propelled Briggs & Stratton Classic there. That Honda engine there, I think that one had a bent crank on it, that engine, if I remember rightly. I'm not too sure. Or was it this one over here? It might have been this one. I'm sure I wrote on it. I may be wrong, I don't know. I'm sure I did make a note on one of them that it's got a bent crank. I've also got that McCulloch there, which is quite a large one. I think it's self-drive. Is it self-drive? Yeah, it's got a self-drive handle on it. There's an old Mountfield there, again, self-propelled. There's one of the old original Mountfields there, so I've got one of them there as well. And another, is it a McCulloch or something? Just a little cheap one which needs renovation or repair. Now that'll be interesting. That's been sitting out there. I didn't use that. Jimmy used it to clean the back of the cut all these weeds back round here, and that's been sitting out there all over the winter period. So I don't know whether or not that's going to start, whether it's going to need a service or whatever. And what's this one here? I didn't even know where this one was here. Look, I don't even know who this one is. It's a big Honda by the looks of it. Again, deck's rotted out at the back, so only really handy to have the engine there. But all this area here, again, is dead space at the back of the garden here. This keeps growing up. But what I was going to do here as well was build on the back of the log cabins here and have this as a separate sort of spray area, like a clean room, so to speak, so we don't get no overspray in there. We've got double doors there, so this can be sort of an isolated area with another door here. If you have a wall coming along here, have another door in here, so this is actually a separate area. So that's something I may even look into. And my log cabins are looking a little bit sorry for themselves now. They've been up here since 2010, I think it was. So about 13 years, so I do need to do some maintenance on them. Repaint them, also probably go over the roof with some new asphalt as well. And down the side of the house we did put some temporary paving slabs down there. That's the ones we ripped up from the patio out the front of the garden, or the back garden, so to speak, just to hold the weeds down, because these weeds literally come right up to there, and you can't see the gate when we if we don't come down here. So yeah, that's what we got to do there. All this area's got to be cleared off and levelled off and probably get screeded or whatever. And there's AstroTurf going to go down here, because this is where Jimmy's back garden will be. We'll put a fence along here with a gate on, and that's Jimmy's entrance to his kitchen there. So virtually out of wood now. This is all the remainders of the wood from that was piled right up to the top there, so we've actually been burning all that. And again, this needs all finely chopping up, and we're going to move the wood store then to the other side of the garden. So that's another to-do job coming around here. So yeah, all this, hopefully the first thing to do here is to get this concrete base laid. So I've got all of some ballast and some cement, and you see around the corner I had the cement mixer, and that's got to happen this year. So we've got the funds to do that now, so we're going to get this going, and I want these wood log cabins built all the way along there. I mean, ideally I'd like to have them built on where the polytunnel is as well, but we do this in stages, and then I'll take the polytunnel down and that'll get moved around the other side of the house, because this is very handy, this polytunnel, and it does get very, very hot in there. We'll build it round there, and it's under the trees there, so it won't get so hot. So yeah, loads to go on, folks. And obviously I've got some work to do on the ST220. I've got the rear passenger glasses to go in. If you remember when I put the strips on, the new door trim strips, the glasses have to be changed as well. So that's a job coming up. It's been too cold to be out there, plus we've been very, very busy as well, and I've not been well. And I've also got the front brakes to uprate and change over as well. I've got all the discs, new pads to go in there as well. And also I want to check on the calipers to see whether or not they need a strip down of the rebuild as well. So that's all coming up. Stick with us. I know there's not much coming out at the moment. I know I've done a few reviews. I've got two other little products to do a review on. One is a little infrared gun. I have got one. Where is it? This one here is a very similar gun, but this is an old one now. I've had this for many, many years. So I'm not too sure whether or not how accurate this is, so I'll be checking this against the new one I've got. And also a boroscope as well. I mentioned before that I had a boroscope which you use off of your phone with an app, and it was wireless. It can be a little bit inconvenient sometimes, to be honest with you, holding the sort of your phone and your phone going off and things happening on your phone, like bleeping and making noises and notifications coming through, and I don't really want to have to turn all that lot off. So I've actually got one now which is a dedicated screen boroscope, so that's another one I'm going to be bringing to you pretty shortly as well. Anyway, I think now I'm going to carry on with this. I'm going to go in for a cup of tea first, take me time. I'm still not all that well at the moment. I've finished my course of antibiotics. So yeah, do keep tuning, folks. As I say, just stick with me, a couple more reviews to do, and then hopefully when the weather breaks a bit more than this, I'll be out and we'll be back on the cars and also the motorbikes, plus also starting hopefully this project out here. Anyway, I'll leave it there for now. Thanks very much for watching. And if you do want to see any of the other sort of stuff that I've done before, for all you new subscribers, just have a look at my channel. There's loads of playlists there of car repairs, bike repairs, all that sort of stuff, lawnmower restorations, lawnmower repairs, and family vlogs as well, and stuff which we've done in the past. So thank you very much for watching, folks. Thanks for sticking with us through this cold weather, austerity, what we're having to do here. These diesel heaters I've got here have been absolutely fantastic. I wouldn't be in here otherwise, because I think it was 3 degrees when I first come in. It's up to 11 or 12 degrees now, and it's workable, and I've got the blinking door open as well. I'm my own worst enemy. Anyway, thank you. See you in the next video, and until then, bye for now.